Little context. First, a little context. I'm not actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I have no plans of ever being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't even play any music. I do play the radio. But I do love music. I love career retrospectives and the speeches that people give at places like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I thought, let's combine both of those and talk about my love of music and just pretend. So bear with me. Let's pretend I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and this is my introduction. So this is the formal Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, and you'll all be standing now and applauding for a long period of time. So I'll wait for all of you to do all of that and sit down, and we'll go through there. So that'll be at least in 10 minutes or so. So now that that's concluded, and you've all completed your standing ovation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and be with all of you today. I'd like to talk about my musical influences, which, like anyone, is often a reflection of what your parents listened to, or often where you came from. In my specific case, I came from a little town in southern Illinois in the Midwest, population 16,000, which had one radio station. And that was the basis of what I listened to, obviously, all the time. So outside of listening to my parents' Beatles records, the music that I would listen to that would be on the radio would be songs like The Devil Went Down to Georgia, Foggy Mountain Breakdown, or Rednecks, White Sox, and Blue Ribbon Beer. That's the actual name of the song that was on the radio. I listened to people like Johnny Cash talking about how he shot a man in Reno just to watch him die, or Willie Nelson giving advice to mamas and don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. By the way, this is a very American-centric focus that I'll be talking about. So apologies for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about or have never heard any of these bands. A while later, we moved to California. Big transition coming from the Midwest. Whoa, going to school with kids wearing music t-shirts, Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne, AC/DC, Metallica. What is this? It was very overwhelming. But I was introduced to new bands after then, coming to Sacramento, where you obviously have more radio stations, and the variety of music is much more than with the one radio station in town. And from then, my love of music flourished. I started listening to performers like the Pet Shop Boys, or Janet Jackson, George Michael, INXS, Genesis, Van Halen, and my love of music expanded quite a bit then. And then in college, everything took off. You're obviously exposed to a lot more people and influences. When I first started college, my freshman year in college was the exact same time that Nirvana first came on the scene in a big way, talking about, here we are now, entertain us. My love for music expanded a little bit later to more global tastes. I lived in Ireland for a time, and I started listening more deeply to bands with a conscience. U2, for example, would be singing a song about the violence in Northern Ireland. They'd go to a song about Martin Luther King Jr. Then they'd have a song about how they still haven't found what they're looking for. Music throughout this time is how I've marked my life. When I was dating my wife, I would make her mixtapes, not tapes, but I would make CDs. I would put on songs, for example, from Prince, songs with lyrics like, I don't care what we do, I don't care where we go, I don't care, pretty baby, just take me with you. When I asked her to marry me, I referenced a song from Mark Cohn, asking her to be my true companion. When my boys were born, I would sing them songs at night, a song from John Lennon. I would talk about how you are my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful boy. Every day when the kids are going to school, when they're leaving the house or getting in the car, I'll use music as the last thing I say to them, and it's usually a song from U2. The lyric is, it's a beautiful day, don't let it get away. They hate it. They get terribly annoyed. At other times when I've been at crossroads in my life, I'll listen to music. I'll listen to music and turn to music for guidance. Tom Petty would sing a song about how You belong somewhere you feel free. Also, on my favorite album, you would talk about how it's time to move on. It's time to get going. What lies ahead, I have no way of knowing. But under the grass, under my feet, the grass is growing. That's kind of a motivation to be able to listen to that and want to do something with your life and literally move on. From time to time, I still come back to that country influence that I had, but in a more thoughtful way. Lyle Lovett, Alison Krauss, Wilco, John Prine. Over time, my musical influences have expanded as new artists come on the scene. Air, Kevmo, St. Vincent, Lana Del Rey, and occasionally I am caught listening to even Taylor Swift. I love going to concerts still to this day. Some of my favorite musical experiences are in San Francisco, going to a place called the Fillmore to see live music. In Golden Gate Park, the Hartley Strictly Bluegrass Festival. It was a great place and a lot of fun that I've had there. Music continues to be a sanity check for me in a lot of different ways. Music can feel like you will understand people better, perhaps, if you hear their point of view or their perception of things in life. Or maybe it's something that makes you want to be somewhere else, or just sometimes just want to lose yourself and crank up the music. When I need an extra boost of energy, I get help from Will Smith, who helps me get jiggy with it, or Joe Jackson when I won't stepping out. When I need motivation or having confidence issues, the 80s band called Tesla reminds me that it's getting better every day, which is also really good, loud. I'll listen to Carly Simon, who tells me, nobody does it half as good as you. Baby, you're the best. Sometimes when I need to put things in perspective, I remember that some of the best advice I've ever had have come from music. Tom Petty said, again, most things I worry about never happen anyway. A Dire Straits song goes, sometimes you're the Louisville Slugger, sometimes you're the ball. So in conclusion, and I'm going to quote a bunch of things real fast and see if you can catch on to any of them. My advice to you is when it's been a hard day's night and you've been working like a dog, you may be inside in the brain, but don't stop believing. At times you may want to have things easy like Sunday morning, but you still got to fight for your right to party and lose yourself in the music. The moment that you know it, you better never let it go. And when you get frustrated because it feels like everybody wants to rule the world and you can give it all, you can always give it up and go dancing at the Pink Pony Club. So for those about to rock, we salute you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.